back at Eastern Creek Raceway, getting set for race 2 of the Mini Challenge, and a new season, a new series, so we switch it up. The top 6, Russell, is inverted for race 2, just to make it interesting.
There's nothing like putting the pole sitter back in the grid a little bit, make him work for his money.
Racing drivers never work for their money, do they?
Oh, come on, only me.
Getting set for this one, so that means that we switch it around. Paul Fiore, brother of Carrera Cup star Dean, will start from pole alongside Nathan Gear, and our race 1 winner Neil McFadden is on row 3 alongside Jason Bargwanna. The turbocharged minis off and running towards turn 1, and a pretty even start.
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't get more even than that, but look for some of the more experienced guys, Bargwanna, Stokel. They'll probably start coming through pretty soon.
The 1.6 litre turbocharged engine. Look at this, Stokel around the outside at turn 2.
If he hangs it in there, I think he might just stay there.
He hangs on. Oh, a bit of a bump back in the back there, as well as Neil McFadden and Jason Bargwanna run side by side, but it's Paul Fiore, the Western Australian, leading the way under real pressure here. He's come from saloon car and Formula Ford racing in his native Western Australia. He's hanging on quite well.
They're a very nimble car, the Mini, actually. Should suit the circuit quite well, but very impressive looking car.
A racing exhaust, good for 154 kilowatts. ABS brakes, 1,150 kilograms, including the driver, with a Control Dunlop Slick Racing tyre. This is turn 9.
Oh, everyone's having a little bit of a look. I tell you what, they're all taking it pretty easy at the moment. They're having a bit of a look in now and then, but no one's prepared to commit. I suppose not too bad on the opening lap. We'll see what happens after a few.
Paul Stokel, Grant Denyer, 2nd and 3rd, back in car with Gary Young. And you'll notice there too, the Mini Challenge car running a H-pattern gearbox, not a sequential, which is becoming all the norm in terms of every other category nearly.
Well, the V8 supercars have just changed over sequential for the first time this year, but so always good to see the H-pattern still in there, you know, really makes it a bit more traditional, I suppose.
Now the car in 4th spot, car number 5, is Nathan Gear from Victoria, a name I'm sure that many of you will not have heard of, but he's from Victoria. He's a BMW technician by trade and has come from winning the BMW E30 series in Victoria. He's under real pressure here from Neil McFadden.
Now, the cars actually do handle fairly well. Considering they're a front-wheel drive car, there is very little what we call understeer in the car, so when they get through the corner, they actually point in and turn quite good, which is a bit of a testimony to the car, really.
Look at the pressure McFadden is applying to Gear. He's up the inside here. He's got a good run.
If he stays here, he'll be right, because the next corner up is coming a left-hander. He's got to stay there, though. No, he's got out of it.
And Bargwanna is lined up and ready to go. But the top 3 have just managed to skip away.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. As soon as you get in a fighting pack, whoever's not fighting will pull away. So these guys have got to sort themselves out if they want to stay with the front runners.
Covering the line at turn 9 is always critical, but it's only lap 2. It's a bit early.
Yeah, probably a bit early to be defensive. Like I said, the first 3 are actually starting to bolt, so they want to be a little bit careful.
These are certainly race-bred race cars. There's nothing standard about them. They're built by the BMW Motorsport outfit that prepare the World Touring Car Championship BMWs for Andy Prio and the like. So they come from a fantastic background, and now it's all about slipstreaming.
Absolutely. That's a good thing about Eastern Creek. Nice, long straight, followed by turn 1, which is a very sweeping turn. Predominantly a motorbike circuit, Eastern Creek, so always fast and flowing.
Paul Fiore leading the way from Grant Denyer. How was that for sideways through turn 1?
Nice job. You don't see a front-wheel drive car get tailied too often, but that was spectacular, especially in such a high-speed corner.
It looked good, but it's meant that he's lost a position.
Trick with a front-wheel drive car, if you get into a slide, just mash the throttle and that'll actually pull it straight again.
And that's what Grant Denyer's done. He's gone through to take the lead, and his teammate Paul Stokel is lining up on the back of Paul Fiore. That's Nathan Gear again.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't mind to get in sideways, does he?
Let's have a look at the replay of the pass for the lead. Grant Denyer moving on through here on Paul Fiore. Just starting to stretch clear on the run to turn 2 as Paul Stokel now challenges at the inside.
Now this is where it is very, very critical. You've got to get a good run down the hill. And if you do that, there's a good passing opportunity right down the bottom. Good run through here. And if you get right on the tail, you can actually fire it down the inside into the left-hander.
Denyer's just been able to stretch away. He's driven a Mini before in Targa Tasmania and competed in the Mini Challenge at Imola in Italy a few years ago against the great Alex Zanardi, so he knows about these cars, but now it's Stokel who's got them lined up.
There's another tricky section coming up. Up what we call the bridge. There's a bit of a bridge corner here. Into the hairpin, turn 9. This is where you test out the brakes. Got to get on it really hard. Here we go. He's in.
Neil McFadden makes the move on.
Nice move.
Paul Fiore.
Real classic move, that. As soon as the car in front slightly pulls out, you just fire it straight down. But you've got to commit. If you go in halfway, you'll end up with a bent guard.
Neil McFadden driving for M3 Motorsport, a team run by Peter Dorman, the former privateer V8 supercar driver who last year was the driving standards observer for Carrera Cup Racing. But the Mini Challenge continues at Eastern Creek. Jason Bargwanna at the tail of the top 6. This one winner, Neil McFadden, now working the back of Paul Stokel.
McFadden's had a bit of a go under brakes. He loves that hairpin. He's probably one of the quickest drivers so far into that hairpin. He doesn't lose too much coming out either.
Denyer's just been able to slip away, and Neil McFadden is trying to rebuild his career. Spent some time in the United Kingdom and is a former Formula Ford and Formula Holden champ. Did a little bit of V8 supercar racing a few years ago, but this was the move at turn 9 that he's made pretty much his own this weekend.
Absolutely, that was a good move. Kept it straight, fired it in there, didn't mess around.
Back to our leaders, Grant Denyer hanging on at the moment. Here's Nathan Gear, who's had a fantastic weekend so far. We're on the final lap in race 2 for the Mini Challenge, a brand new championship in 2008 that will support the V8 supercars over 8 rounds this year. But Denyer clear at the front with only a couple of corners to go.
Yeah, see, Gear and Stoker have been fighting a bit, so that's allowed Denyer just to get away a little bit. Saying that, Grant's been keeping it pretty straight, and that's what you have to do when you're in the lead. Keep the car straight, smooth, and you'll pull away.
Couple of corners to go for Grant Denyer. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Deco Rug team. Paul Stokel slotted back into position 2, but Grant's going to even up the ledger with Neil McFadden to make it 1 win apiece. He started from position 3. He will end race 2 in position 1 and book himself a front row starting position for race 3. Grant Denyer takes race 2 of the Mini Challenge. And in the end, that was a handy margin.
Absolutely, that's a nice job, and it's glad to see Grant's found a car that fits his size.
He gets the win in race 2, books himself a front row spot for race 3. Paul Stokel in 2nd spot. Todd Fiore failed to start the race after an accident on the warm-up lap.
What a great little car, what a great little series, and you know, there's some serious pressure around with the likes of Bargwanna and Stokel, all multiple champions in various categories. You know, McFadden, a multiple Australian karting championship, and to sort of finish off in front is a nice little surprise for an old battle axe like me, a broken down old weatherman.